Welcome back to the Artefators Union. I'm your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels. Today we are assembling the Prey Slain box for the Explorer Society faction, the Apex and Cadmus keyword. Box contains two models, Kainhearse, this person right here, and the Ahool, which is got some skin problems. Checking our renders on the back, matches our artwork. Looks pretty simple, but I've heard that Kainhearse is actually pretty difficult, and staring at the sprue, the Ahool is quite simple. So we'll go ahead and start with Kainhearse first. Here's the sprue, in the very least. Don't have a ton of bits to deal with. We'll go ahead and clip out D7. We'll start with that. Add D4, the gun on their hip. This is a they-them character. I don't know if it is a case of unknown gender or if they are non-binary. I personally hope non-binary. I love representation in this game. After that, we'll do the front part of the torso that's taking up this hole right here. That's this bit. We'll do both arms, the coat, cloak, whatever, then this, which I believe goes on top of that, and finish with the head. This order might change, but let's get started. Grab D7 and D4. Here's D7. D4 is going to go on the back here, right along the hip. It kind of sticks out, but it's very obvious where it goes. So let's do D3, the front of the pelvis, I guess? It's belt, armor, stuff. Tummy armor. Alright, let's see about our arms. Okay, we're actually going to go ahead and do the cape. I was made aware of this box by someone on Reddit, and they had a hard time attaching the cape, so I assumed that it was a case of something else need to go on before the cape attaches. And while you could probably put other stuff on, there is a very quick and dirty way to make sure the cape is in correctly. We're looking at this connection point right here. That is going to connect to this right here. And once you put those two together, it's very obvious how it's supposed to fit in. It just doesn't quite look right because the rest of the bits build around it and connect it better to the torso. So let me show you what that looks like. Tearing it off real quick also to point out the gun and holster that we just added in the first step will be nestled in here. So that's another way to confirm that it's where it's supposed to be. Okay. It looks kind of awkward, but you can also see that it just conforms to the shape of both sides. Yep, and there's that nice pocket the gun fits inside of. And so we can continue on with our arms. Let's do D2, the left arm, the one not holding a sword. It's got a very significant tooth on it, and that tooth is going to fit right here in this little hole. Alright, change of plans. I think actually it'll be easier if we just go ahead and attach D1 now, which is the top part of the cloak. Here's our connection point. Those two dots correspond to these two dots here. I apologize, it's something you definitely could have done before attaching the cloak to the body, but that looks good. So now we're going to do D5, the right arm, the one wielding the sword. It's got this big clothy bit attached to it right here, and that is just going to kind of cover up this entire hole and create a nice little pocket for D2, our left arm. So it's being swung up over and over the head, so it'll go back like this, and you want to keep an eye on this bit right here. It will connect to this right here. Okay, as you can see, that line I was talking about just transitions to the line on the bit. This is mostly gluing to the cloak, so you want to make sure that you're gluing these seams in here, because it's only really attached to the body, more or less right there. So we've got two bits left, D2, the left arm, which will slide in there. And then we will do, what is the head? D6 is the head, and it will at least partially connect right here, because you can see that's a connection point. Alright, there we go. That was a lot easier, doing it second to last. Now let's add our head. Yeah, aren't they pretty? Okay. Get them on a base. Kainhearse is done. Yeah, kind of difficult. Gonna fully admit that, but a lot of it lies in the order of assembly, so let's review what I think the assembly order should be. Still grab the body. Go ahead and add the gun as well as the armor slash crotch flap thing. Excuse me. After that, combine the two pieces of the cloak attached to the back like I showed before, followed by the right arm holding the sword, sort of complete the cloak area. Once you are done with that, you'll have a good pocket for the left arm and finish with the head. Yeah, I think it's doable. You just really need to know at what order they're in. Alright, let's move on. Our Ahool comes with two bits. I'm venturing to guess they ended up on a different sprue that was attached to this one that you see has been cut out. And it was probably easier for Weird to just put these in baggies versus giving you that extra odd sprue. We have clearly defined legs here, so it's not going to be that difficult to figure out where they go. But I don't have letters for them, so whatever, I'll just specify which one is which. You should be able to figure it out anyways, because you know how feet work. Okay, assembly order. Grab H6. Go ahead and we'll do everything that's not numbered. Bleh. First. So H6, then we'll do the arms, H5 and H1. Then the back, which should enclose the torso. That's H3. We'll combine the two halves of the head, H2 and H4, plop that down on top of the body, and then we'll do the leggies. Alright, so H6, then H5. Okay, here is H6, and I'm going to immediately change my mind. We're going to go ahead and add H3, the back of the torso. Looking at the connection points for the arms, they're just going to be kind of awkwardly floating there without this bit. There we go, we have clearly defined connections for the arms slash wings. Now, so we can move back and start with H5, the right arm, right wing. Easy peasy. Now H1, the left arm and left wing. Also easy fit. Okay, we'll set it down and we'll combine H4 and H2, the two halves of the head. H4, the lower jaw, plus H2, the top of the head. Now let's just jam this on the body, before and after. Alright, let's look at our feet. Okay, so the nice thing is that our connection points are different shapes, so we can have a rectangular one, which is going to be our right leg, and then a circular one, which is going to be our left leg. Let's do the right leg first. It can be kind of difficult with the tail there. Definitely going to recommend you do the legs first thing when you're assembling this. Let's do the left leg. This one took a lot more pressure and wiggling to get in there. I'm not entirely sure why, but it's good enough. And we're all done with the Ahool. Let's put them on a base. The Ahool is completed. Hardest part was the left leg, trying to jam that in there. Everything else, very, very simple, very, very easy. I would change up the order of assembly to do the legs first before anything else. I just did it my way because they didn't have labeling on them, because they were in little baggies. But that's it. All the difficulty in Kainhearse, though. Let's look at the whole box. The Prey Slain box is done, containing Kainhearse and Ahool. The Ahool and Ahool. Difficulty, all in Kainhearse. Very, very little to say about the Ahool. Kainhearse just being really a case of order of assembly. Admittedly, attaching the cloak to the back is slightly weird, but if you know that you do the gun first, and then the cloak, and then the right arm, and then the left arm, it's not as difficult as it could have been for me, so I think it should be easier for you. But that's all I have to say about these two. I have been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Have a good night.